What's going in at?
Oh, yeah.
Hello, young man.
What's up, Casito? How you doing? Welcome back to the States.
How we doing, man?
Good.
Yeah, we tried to draft your ass last year. For God's sake. It's all worked out.
Yeah.
You remember that, right?
Yeah, that's what I was about to tell you.
Someday we'll get a chance to talk about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, sit down.
Hey everyone, take a look at the timestamp on this broadcast, because we are witnessing a pivotal moment that is shaping the future of an entire franchise. Depending on your source, the story is being spun in a multitude of ways. Todd Monken has officially completed another set of interviews. Here's a deep dive into his vision, strategy, and game plan for the Cleveland Browns as they gear up for the 2026 season. If you've been tuned in, if you've been catching the subtle hints and picking up on what's left unsaid, it's clear that there's more beneath the surface here. This situation is way more complex and unpredictable than what the headlines suggest. It's time to dive deep into what's really going down in Cleveland, because the narrative is being twisted, and the reality is getting lost beneath a mountain of speculation, wishful thinking, and honestly, denial. Todd Monken took a seat for this interview. He shared his perspective. He shared his thoughts on why he decided to take the job. Within that discussion lies some revealing details that should have every Browns fan feeling either pumped or anxious, depending on how you look at them. Let's break this down step by step, because the impact here is huge, reaching well beyond just a single coach or quarterback. First off, let's dive into why Todd Monken decided to take this job in the first place. Many folks thought it was due to the offensive firepower, the array of weapons, the quarterback scenario, or the talent at skill positions. That's not what he meant. Monken emphasized that a significant reason for his choice to join Cleveland wasn't just the offense needing improvement, but rather the already impressive strength of the defense. Take a moment to consider that. The guy is an offensive coordinator by profession, someone who should be eager to shape an offense to his liking. His main pitch for accepting the head coaching position revolves around the defense. That gives you a couple of insights.
Browns' new head coach, Todd Monken, welcome back to Cleveland. This is going to be a busy time for you, obviously, but it looks like as soon as you got off the plane, you got right to work here in Berea. So what do these next few days, weeks, and months look like for you as you take the reins over for the Cleveland Browns?
Starting off, we've got to, finish, hiring an elite staff and then connecting with the players. I mean, that's really what it comes down to, is connecting with those guys. But again, putting together an elite staff.
I asked you in your introductory press conference about your philosophy on player development, and one of the things that you have said before is just finding that elite trait in a player. We talk so much about what this year looks like for Shador Sanders. So when you see what he's done from his first year in the NFL into this next season, what stands out to you as elite about him that you hope to maybe pull out in his development?
I think you can see the playmaking ability. You can see him as a playmaker. He has a unique way of moving around the pocket and finding receivers down the field. I love that about him. Hard to really drill down into some of the other things you need to work on until we really get him back here.
For you, you've got a lot of coaching experience, but this is your first NFL head coaching opportunity. Why did it feel like this was the time now? And what are you looking forward to with this opportunity now?
I think God puts you in the right place at the right time. I really believe that. I've had other opportunities, just didn't come to fruition. Loved my time here. I think the Haslams and the fan base are just craving a consistent winner. And I've been a little bit in that, I've been in that situation before at Southern Miss, and I can't wait to get started.
You said craving that consistent winner. It's obviously a little early to create expectations for this team, but you obviously had to have pitched something, your vision for what the Cleveland Browns could be in 2026. So what is that vision? What do you anticipate the Cleveland Browns will look like under you in your first year and then moving forward?
Well, I think first off, when you talk about what you want the tape to look like, I mean, it starts with effort, physicality, and execution that pops off the tape. I mean, that's what you want the team to look like. And if you get that effort, physicality, and execution that pops off the tape, everything else takes care of itself.
All right, last one for you. You're back in Cleveland. You were here in 2019. What excites you the most about being here? What are you looking forward to? What's first on your list of getting back into this community and back into a fan base that loves football so much?
Building a consistent winner. That's all it is. This is all about winning.
Just football nonstop, huh?
That's it.
First off, he understands that championships are won with top-tier defenses. Additionally, He could be focusing on the offensive side and recognizing that this project may require more time to resolve than many are willing to acknowledge. Let's get real about this defense. The Cleveland Browns boast one of the top 5 defenses in the whole NFL. That's not hype. That's not a projection. That's the truth. Myles Garrett is undeniably one of the most dominant defensive linemen in the game today. A once-in-a-lifetime player capable of completely dismantling an opponent's offensive strategy on their own. Denzel Ward is a lockdown corner who can dominate half the field. The defensive front is stacked with young talent, laying down a solid foundation for the future. This is a unit that has the potential to lead a team to victory. This is a unit that can secure victories even when the offense is struggling. Monin gets it. He notices that. He knows that if he can make the offense at least functional, not even top tier, just functional, this team has what it takes to compete. But this is where the plot thickens. And this is where the doubt begins to settle in, much like the fog drifting off Lake Erie. The most pressing issue looming over this franchise at the moment, the topic everyone is quietly discussing but hesitant to voice, is this. What's going on with Jim Schwartz? He's the guy running the defense as the coordinator. He's the mastermind behind that elite top 5 defense. He's the one who has harnessed that talent and transformed it into a powerful, unified force. Multiple sources are saying it. Podcasters in the know are talking about it, and those familiar with the inner workings are echoing the sentiment. Jim Schwartz is out. He's done for. He's not making a return. If that's the case, and it really goes down like that, it would totally change the game for this team's future. First off, I want to make one thing perfectly clear.
It just shows a little bit more of that it factor, man. It's the Pro Bowl, but guys still get nervous. I'm telling you, when you're amongst all those stars, and you know it's like, oh yeah, it's a play around game, but you still get nervous a little bit, right? Yeah, right, G? Sure. You still like, oh shit, like, you know what I'm saying? That's Calvin Johnson. That's, you know what I'm saying? The guys are still there, so you still get a little nervous. And the quarterbacks, they usually kind of discuss like, all right, who gonna go first? Who wanna start this thing off? And for Shedeur to say, man, I got it, you know, it's hard to make that dude nervous, man. He grew up in that spotlight, and it just shows me like that it factor, man. To come out, you know, throw 2 touchdowns. He threw 2 picks, but to throw 2 touchdowns, to just say, I got it, I'll go first. You know what I'm saying? It speaks volumes to me, man. It's a tough thing to do, and hey, it reflects that it factor to me.
Learning experience for a rookie to come in. You know, he got on the field. He had some success, kind of up and down for him. And I think, like with Shedeur, like he's got a vision of greatness, right? Like he has this big personality, but you know, growing up with Dion and stuff like that, he envisions greatness. So for him to go to the Pro Bowl and be around greatness and pick Joe Burrow's brain, Flacco's brain, talk to all the wide receivers and stuff like that, I think it's awesome. I think, you know, put it on the resume, take a week or two, get your mind right, and then attack this, because you got to go earn that starting job. So really excited with where he's at, and I think this is all just building into his confidence, and hopefully he can turn all that into the starting job.
I enjoy being around the greats, you know, and I always got talked about or ridiculed a little bit because I would kind of fan out, because I'm like, hey, like, man, you a Pro Bowler too? I'm like, yeah, but you know what I'm saying? I just, and I would just sit, I would just sit and learn, listen, hear different things, and try and take it back to my team. As far as a starter, I didn't put much stock into it. We used to literally play rock, paper, scissors.
If Jim Schwartz departs, it won't be due to a shortage of candidates eager to take his place. Any defensive mastermind in the league, any coordinator dreaming of leading a top-tier unit, would leap at the chance to take charge of a defense that's already this skilled. No need to start from scratch. No need to search for the pieces. Myles Garrett is in the mix. Denzel Ward is in the mix. The young players are in the mix. You're stepping into a scenario where the groundwork is already laid out, and your job is to keep it running smoothly while possibly adding a few enhancements here and there. That's the ultimate gig for a defensive coach. The real question isn't about finding someone skilled enough to take over for Schwartz. The real question is if making a change is actually a smart move. And the big question is, why is he making this move in the first place? And this is where things start to get complicated. Word on the street is that Jim Schwartz strolled into the office, took a good look at the chaos and dysfunction unfolding behind the scenes, and pretty much declared, "Forget everyone." Those are the phrases that are making the rounds. I'm not sure if that's exactly how it was said. I'm not sure if that's an exaggeration, but the feeling is definitely evident. Schwartz is feeling frustrated. Schwartz is done, and it seems he's holding firm on that position because he could be on his way out of Cleveland for good. Consider the implications of that. Consider the implications of that message. When your defensive coordinator, the key player in your success, decides to leave, what does that indicate about the overall culture of the team? What does that indicate about the front office? What does that indicate about the franchise's trajectory? It suggests that even achieving success isn't sufficient to retain people. It points out that there are problems that go beyond just the outcomes of games. Browns fans should be worried, because losing Schwartz means more than just finding a replacement. Even if the new guy is capable, you're sacrificing continuity and familiarity, which could lead to a setback on the one side of the ball that's actually performing well. However, that's not the only blaze flickering in the shadows. As all this unfolds in Cleveland, with Todd Monken in the interview hot seat and Jim Schwartz possibly getting ready to leave, there's another narrative taking center stage. It's all about the player who is expected to be the franchise's future star, Shador Sanders. Yesterday was the Pro Bowl, and if you were scrolling through social media or hanging out in the football community online, you couldn't miss the massive wave of criticism that hit Shador Sanders. Fans were calling out his performance, his attitude, his presence, basically everything about him. It was unyielding. It was tough. It got so loud that his family heard about it and chose to react. Deion Sanders Jr., Shador's brother, hit up social media and clapped back. He went all out. He wasn't about to play nice. He took the critics head on. He shared, "It's a beautiful thing seeing how much pleasure they get from hating on my bloodline." That was just the beginning shot. He took the hate and turned it into fuel for his drive. About an hour later, he came back with something even sharper. He referenced a passage from the Bible. Psalms 27:2-3 states, "When evil people come to devour me, when my enemies and foes attack me, they will stumble and fall. Even with a powerful army all around me, I will not let fear take hold of my heart. No matter the challenges I face, my confidence will stay strong." Feel free to take that in whatever way you choose. One might call it faith. One could call it defiance. It's like a family coming together to support one another. What this really shows is that the Sanders family is under some serious pressure. They're definitely sensing the heat, and you can bet they're not going to just sit back and let the internet rip them to shreds. Shedeur responded in a much more composed manner. He released a statement expressing gratitude to everyone who contributed to the Pro Bowl. He expressed his gratitude saying, "Thank you to all the coaches, players, and fans for letting me be a part of the Pro Bowl. Connecting with the guys was absolutely incredible. The learning and growth were off the charts. I'm really thankful for this chance and looking forward to keeping in touch. Thanks, God." That's a really classy reply. That's a top-notch reply. That's the kind of reply from someone who gets that perception is key and knows you can't engage in every skirmish on social media. The need for him to release a statement speaks volumes about the intensity of the chatter surrounding the situation. The criticism clearly affected him, or at the very least, it impacted those close to him. Here's the kicker that makes this whole situation so unfortunate. Rather than uplifting Shador Sanders, rather than celebrating the opportunity for a young quarterback to gain national recognition and learn from seasoned pros at an all-star event, there's a vocal part of the fan base and media focused on criticizing him. Coach Prime, Deion Sanders, faced a similar situation when the news broke about him recruiting players. Everyone came down hard on him for that. His leadership came under scrutiny. His motives were called into question. What started as a simple attempt by a coach to instill discipline and accountability turned into a full-blown controversy. The Sanders family is facing this reality head-on. They are being closely examined. Every decision is under the microscope. Each word is analyzed in detail. As soon as things start to go sideways, you can bet the critics are ready to pounce. Watching from the sidelines is truly draining. It's hard to fathom the experience of truly living. Let's focus on Cleveland, because that's where the real action is happening. Todd Monken recently had an interview that caught the attention of ABC5. The video captures him outlining his strategy, detailing his game plan for Shador Sanders and the Cleveland Browns as they gear up for the 2025 season. Now, this is where things get really intriguing because there's been a buzz, a rumor circulating rapidly that Shador Sanders may not be the starting quarterback when the season begins. Let me make this perfectly clear. I think those rumors are not true. It seems like they're chasing clicks, stirring up controversy, and seeking engagement. This narrative is definitely being spun, and I can't quite figure out why it's happening. Some folks are out there suggesting that there might be a quarterback competition, implying that Shedeur will need to fight for the starting position and isn't guaranteed to be the one taking snaps in Week 1. Let me be clear, I believe that's just ridiculous. It seems like it's all just created drama. I was among the first to predict that this narrative would be pushed, and now we're witnessing it unfold right before our eyes. What's the reason behind that move? Why create doubt about the quarterback spot after investing a high draft pick in him? Controversy is what drives sales. Doubt sparks discussion. If everyone just acknowledged that Shedeur is the guy, there wouldn't be much to discuss until training camp rolls around. Instead, what you end up with are anonymous sources, whispers, and reports suggesting that some within the organization have their doubts and are questioning his readiness. It's just a bunch of smoke. Everything is crafted to ensure you keep clicking, keep watching, and stay engaged. But Todd Monken is no fool. He understands the commitment he made. Shador Sanders arrives with a lot on his shoulders, facing high expectations and a level of attention that most newcomers simply don't encounter. If he's got the smarts and the leadership qualities that Cleveland is counting on, he'll put an end to that chatter right away. He's set to emphasize that Shedeur is the starting quarterback, that the role belongs to him, and that the priority is on growth rather than rivalry. The truth is this: the Cleveland Browns find themselves at a pivotal moment. They boast a top 5 defense, but it looks like they could be losing their coordinator. A new head coach is stepping in, aiming to establish a fresh culture. They've got a quarterback who's got the skills, but is still finding his way, all while facing a ton of pressure. Their fan base is hungry, yearning for success after years of letdowns. Now is not the moment for playing around. Now is not the moment for any theatrics. Now is the moment for clear vision, strong leadership, and a plan that inspires confidence in all. Todd Monken has to step into that building and assert his dominance. He really needs to have a sit-down with Jim Schwartz and see if there's any chance of keeping him around, because losing him would be a huge setback. He must step up in front of the media and clearly declare that Shador Sanders is his quarterback. It's crucial for him to unite that locker room around a vision that transcends the noise, the rumors, and the dysfunction that has haunted this franchise for far too long. The components are in place. The defense is top-notch. The quarterback shows a lot of promise. The coach brings experience to the table, but potential is worthless without the ability to execute. Execution demands sharp focus, unwavering stability, and solid trust. At this moment, Cleveland is lacking in all of those areas. There's total chaos going on. There's a sense of unpredictability. They've got a defensive coordinator on the verge of leaving, and a quarterback whose family is pulling out the scripture because the backlash is just that severe. This is a crucial turning point. The choices made in the coming weeks will be crucial in deciding if the Cleveland Browns can finally move ahead or slip back into the same old pattern of mediocrity that has haunted them for years. If they mess this up, if they lose Schwartz, if they mishandle Shedeur, if the drama overshadows the message, they're going to blow a huge opportunity. I'm keeping a close eye on this. You ought to be as well. What goes down in Cleveland has implications that reach far beyond the city itself. The impact is felt across the whole league. It shapes our perspective on young quarterbacks. It influences our perspective on coaching hires. It shapes our perspective on the equilibrium between defense and offense when constructing a championship-caliber team. Todd Monken, if you're tuned in, time's running out. The fans are on the edge of their seats. All eyes are on the situation, and the heat is definitely rising. This was the position you were aiming for. You accepted this position. All right, let's see what you've got. Prove to us that you can take on the madness. Prove to us that you can create something genuine. At this moment, we're left with nothing but questions. Cleveland definitely needs some clarity on this situation.